From deep in the heart of Dallas, Texas, it's the Best of the Outdoors podcast. Brought to you by Texas Fish and Game Magazine, the voice of the Texas outdoor nation. I'm your humble host, Dustin Warncke, back for another podcast. And man, hello everybody in the Texas outdoor nation. So excited that you've taken the opportunity to download the show, stream it online, however you found us. Thank you so much for doing so. We are happy to have you along for the ride. Really excited about the feedback I heard from yesterday's episode that I released this morning, and this morning is Friday morning. This evening is Friday evening, and I am recording a new show that will release on Saturday, so I'm kind of doing these a day in advance, is my plan at least, and hope to bring you some more content for this show that's a little bit different from stuff that we've done before, some on-the-spot interviews. I'm going to haul all my podcasting equipment around tomorrow and try to do a couple of interviews and kind of make a show out of that. But I wanted to definitely do some solo stuff for you like I try to do at these shows, like I did a SHOT Show this year, to give you some options of different things you can do in the hunting and fishing realm for the outdoors pertaining to the NRA Show. And this has just been a fantastic show. I just cannot say enough about everything that I've seen here. All the people that I've met here has just been fantastic. And the first company I wanted to bring up is Tract Optics. That's T-R-A-C-T Optics. A guy by the name of John LaCourt is one of the partners that I met with today. And they've got some fantastic scopes, binos, really nice rifle scopes, very crystal clear, good in low light conditions. I mean, they've just got a whole line of different things. They're a relatively new company you may not have heard about compared to a lot of the other big scope companies that are out there, but they're up and coming, and I really see a lot of good potential in what they have to offer to the shooter and the hunter. They just really have some unique things that are going on there. So wanted to definitely check them out. And the Toric 30 millimeter rifle scope, and then they've got the Response, the 22 Fire, handful of other products. You can look them up online, Tract Optics. And they've just got some fantastic things that they're into as far as the hunting optics, from your higher end to your higher price to your kind of mid-range price. And they've just got some fantastic things going on there. So I hope to welcome them as an advertiser to the magazine in the near future. Had a good meeting with them today, and just really enjoyed checking out their line of optics and visiting with those guys over there. So Tract Optics, check those guys out. Speaking of optics, I wanted to get into another one of Red Dot Optics, and that's Holosun, Holosun, Holosun Optics. And these guys have been around for a little while. They specialize in lasers and red dots, and they have things that are little micro red dots that will fit on a Glock or a lot of semi-automatic pistols. They also have a wide variety of rifle and shotgun accessories for optics and red dot scopes and that kind of stuff. Red dot optics, I should say. And wide variety, tons of SKUs, varieties of just about any kind of need that you can think of for a red dot or a laser. These guys have you covered. They even have some optics that are red dots and lasers combo, some SKUs that have that. But really impressed with what I saw over there. Today I got to meet with them for a little while, and I've got some good things coming down the wire for them in the future as well, working with Texas Fish and Game as a sponsor. So really excited about having the opportunity to talk to these guys and check out their full line of optics. I mean, they've just got a ton of different stuff at the show that I was looking at this time, and mentioned them briefly around the SHOT Show coverage. But if you're looking for a red dot optic, and this was one of the things we talked about in our meeting, if you have older eyes, and I realize I'm talking to kind of a younger audience because this is a podcast, but if your parents have older eyes, and can't see down a scope as well, a red dot optic will help with fast target acquisition. A red dot optic or a laser will help with being on target, especially for hogs, especially for varmints, predators, exotics, those kind of things. You can definitely use lasers or red dots on, but red dots on your deer rifle. There's one company that I work with that I want to have on the show in the near future that I work with consulting on the side with, and that's Dr. Basil Pearson's Winchester Model 94 scope mount. and scope rail, and the Rossi 92 scope rail, and he has both different varieties for top eject guns, and they mount forward to the receiver. The cool thing that I've noticed about what he does with his branding is so many people that have almost given up shooting a lever gun, for instance, almost given up shooting a lever action rifle because their eyes are just too old to see those iron sights anymore. A red dot has brought them back in the game. You know, it's made them deer hunters again. It's made them shooters again. It's made them accurate with their rifles, and definitely squeezing potential that they normally would not have with iron sights because of red dot optics. And that's one angle that we talked about with Holosun, having the idea of aging eyes, whether it be your parents, whether it be your own, whatever the case may be. You know, just having that option to have a red dot or a laser or whatever you want to do, sometimes both, on a gun is a great opportunity to do, you know, some hunting and shooting related sports around, you know, a new optic, you know. So it's just a good idea to check out. But Holosun's easy to find on the internet. You can just Google them and you can find their website, and they've just got a wide variety of different red dots, different types of optics that they've got there. So really cool. Also stopped in and met with Crosman. I'm going to try, and I mean try, I'm going to try. I've got an appointment set tomorrow at the show to visit with Jay Duncan, who's one of the marketing experts there at Crosman and LaserMax. And we're going to meet at the LaserMax booth and try to record a little bit of a show together about some of the things Crosman has. They've got a really cool AR-15 style BB gun, and that shoots just incredibly fast and is just fantastic gun to have around for an air gun. Obviously the Pioneer Airbow, which I've talked about on this podcast and other podcasts that I've guest hosted on. Fantastic, shooting a full-length arrow at 250 feet per second at big game. They will be legal, most likely, unless some legislation changes before then, but they will be legal to hunt deer in the fall of this year, of 2018. So that should take effect in September when the legislative session, or the fiscal year, I should say, for the state of Texas and Texas Parks and Wildlife turns over. And for this coming deer season, that should be a lot of fun to watch people take wild game, native and exotic, with a Pioneer Airbow. So I wanted to definitely mention that. CenterPoint crossbows I've always talked about as being a great value for the price. They're kind of compact models of crossbows, and then CenterPoint optics as well. Whole line of rifle optics, airgun optics, and that kind of stuff. And then they have you know, big bore air guns, small bore air guns. Just a wide variety of different air guns there in the Crosman booth. And the cool thing about it is that a lot of them are silenced. A lot of them have built-in suppressors, or suppressors and spring-loaded, or PCP air guns, and they've just got a wide variety of different things there. I just really love what's going on in that world. And let me get into saying this as well before I get much further. I don't go through, when I do these shows, and review your Springfields and your Glocks and your Smith & Wessons and your Colts and all these other things that are such popular firearm brands, just because I like to give you something a little bit different. I like to give you something a little bit that not everybody else is talking about. And my big deal is crossbows and air guns, as most of you guys know when I talk about stuff on this show, and getting kids involved at that level of simple shooting, simple wins, those kind of things, when it comes to starting kids out in the outdoors the right way. You know, the thing that's different about this industry compared to just about anybody, any other industry, is that things are so good now. There's not, if you ask me, Dustin, what's the best, you know, pistol? Is it a Glock? Is it a SIG? Is it a Springfield? Is it a Colt? Is it a Smith & Wesson? Is it a Taurus? I mean, there's so many companies out there that cover the spread on these things that have all kinds of great things. My whole goal with this show is to bring you something that is of value, that's a different kind of off the beaten path stuff that you may not hear from every other podcast you listen to, or every other radio show, or whatever you're listening to, or watching YouTube or whatever. You know, I just want to bring you something that's of value, that's different. And that's why I'd like to visit the companies that I do. The next one I want to talk about, getting into ammunition for firearms. I've got a little brochure that I picked up from Norma Ammunition. I look forward to doing some business with them in the future as well. They have the Tip Strike Instant Stop Perfect Ending loaded ammunition, and they claim it's 100% deadly, superior accuracy, medium to big game rated. This is a polymer tipped bullet, and it's got great expansion, tip inserted for better expansion. Thin forward jacket provides devastating shock. Lead lock guarantees good penetration. 75% weight retention. Leader over the competition is what they claim. And I got to inspect some of this stuff firsthand. Colorado Buck was in the booth. And I want to go back tomorrow and try to meet him and get some FaceTime with him because he's an awesome dude. He's just a crazy guy. I love this guy. Watch a lot of his stuff. I forget if it's on the Pursuit channel or the Hunt channel. But anyway, if you've not checked out Colorado Buck, he's one of their spokespeople and is just a fantastic hunter. Travels all over the world, Africa and beyond, and he uses Norma ammunition wherever he goes. So Norma is a premium hunting line of ammunition. They, like I say, have this Tip Strike, which is a unique, expandable ammunition that's built for hunting big game, and they also carry a lot of different ammunition for going abroad to Africa and places like that, New Zealand, wherever you go abroad to hunt outside of Texas. But they're wanting to do a big Texas push this year, and Texas is one of the states that they want to work with us in. And the cool thing about NRA being in Texas this year is I got to talk to them about all the cool exotics that we have in Texas. Neil Guy being really big game, to Eland, to Axis, Fallow, Psycha, Black Buck, Wild Hogs, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully get the chance to work with them some more, and really, really tune in a message of their ammunition for our Texas audience. So really excited. If you've not checked out Norma ammunition, there are a few dealers in Texas you can get that. You can also Google them and find them online and buy their ammunition from certain retailers online. But Norma makes a fine. And the thing is, a lot of these guys make really good ammunition, but Norma is really, specializes in big game ammunition and centerfire ammunition for firearms, and really has a lot of wide variety of things to offer there. But the Tip Strike was one that caught my eye tonight when I was going back through my notes and everything, and I wanted to definitely mention that. So Norma ammunition, check out those guys online or elsewhere, and you can purchase some of their stuff from your favorite ammo retailer. Back to optics. I wanted to talk real quick about Sightmark and Pulsar. I stopped by and visited these guys today and had a fantastic meeting with one of my contacts over there, and really, really got to investigate some of their new stuff. Sightmark is coming out with a new first focal plane scope that is going to be under $1,000, actually well underneath $1,000, and it is one of the coolest optics I've had the chance to look through. It's perfect for air guns, because first focal plane is a big deal for guys like Eric Henderson. It's one of the guys I've interviewed on the podcast before. But first focal plane scopes are going to be a little bit more expensive, but this one is very well made. I forget, I think it's called the Citadel or the Sentry or something like that. I think it's a Citadel. And that it's coming out here in the near future from Sightmark, and I've just got fantastic things to say about this company. I own a Core HX scope on my 270. It's one of the clearest optics that I own. Great in low light conditions and very affordable. I think it was under $200. I think is what I ended up paying for it, maybe a little bit over $200 when I bought it. But they have the Core HX series that came out a few years ago, or a couple of years ago, and then the fantastic wide variety of Pulsar night vision optics, and they've just got some great opportunities going on there with night vision. Pulsar is using Sightmark, and Cellmark is one of the main hubs that they market their products through in America, in the North America region. And I've got a lot of good things to say about them. Seen a lot of things by guys like Todd Huey with Lone Star Bores. I don't know if you've ever checked out his YouTube channel. He's got about 32,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. Lone Star Bores, if you just Google that or come up with that on your YouTube, you'll find Todd Huey's page, and he has a optics site called Huey Outdoors I wanted to promote for him. Because he's kind of becoming a new hub for night vision and thermal optics. And Pulsar and Sightmark Photon are two of the things that he's going to be carrying on his website. It is carrying on his website now. But the Pulsar has a wide variety of great nighttime optics, and then Sightmark has a Photon. They have two different Photons that came out with a couple of years ago. Great for night vision, very, very affordably priced for night vision optics. And just fantastic things to say about that for hog hunting. I just got off the phone with my friend Danny Berry at DB Hunting Ranch, and we're talking about getting a thermal or a night vision scope for one of our ranch guns and selling thermal hunts. So I'll have him on the podcast, or night vision hunts. I'll have him on the podcast soon to talk more about that. But that's one of the things I've kind of been talking to him about, is doing some nighttime hog hunting with thermal or night vision. So that's a really good thing there too. But Sightmark has just got a wide variety of great scopes. They're a Texas company. They're based right here in Texas, out of Mansfield, close to where we have the Airgun Show, Texas Airgun Show, and that's coming up in June this year. So if you've not done so, mark your calendars. I believe it's June 23rd. It's a Saturday. It's just a one-day show. And if you want more information about that, contact me through Facebook. Last name is spelled Warncke. Or dustinsprojects.com. You can email me through dustinsprojects.com or warnkeoutdoors.com. And I will get you the details on the Airgun Show, which is held at the Arlington Sportsman's Club, I believe, in Mansfield, Texas. And I've gone several years now to that show. It's been going on 4 or 5 years now, and I love it. I take my son every year here lately and get him shooting some air guns, and it's just all air guns. It's like a firearm show, but it's all air guns. It's awesome. Airforce Airguns is there, and I'll talk about them some tomorrow when I hopefully have some interview stuff. That also brings me to Airforce Airguns. I wanted to mention the wide variety of BKL Technologies scope mounts that they have. Picatinny rails, Weaver rails, dovetail adapters, all kinds of different things there for your airgun. And then they have a airgun optic dovetail rail that runs on most of their airguns, top and bottom. And you can get dovetail to Picatinny rail mounts that you can get for your optics that way, to mount your lasers, your red dots, your flashlights, all that kind of stuff that you do for night hunting, or on the run gunning hunting, or what am I trying to say? On the running gun hunting, on the go, and some really great opportunities there to check out some of the things that they have with BKL Technologies and Airforce Airguns if you're looking for optics for your air gun or anything else. Can't say enough about Air Force. They've gotten into the 257 caliber, the big bore, 308, 357, and 45 caliber Texan, and the 257 is new for this year. And I think the law is going to go through for sure for Texas to be able to do, and I'll talk about this some in the next podcast, I think, if I can get the interviews right with people, but the legislation's been pushed through and approved. There was one little hiccup after that, and we'll see what happens with that. But basically, airguns should be legal to hunt during the 2018 hunting season for native game. So for whitetail deer, obviously for exotics and hogs, but for whitetail deer, turkey, so on and so forth, native game. Yeah, pronghorn antelope, so on and so forth. You have the option to hunt with an airgun as long as it's 308 or 30 caliber or larger. It's a fantastic idea. I've already bought a sling for my Air Force Texan, and I got a sling on order for my Talon P. And Talon P I use for plinking and for shooting in the backyard and for shooting at the gun range and just practicing my trigger control and breath control and everything like that. But the Texan is 45 caliber. If you've watched any of my YouTube videos, I've killed a nice hog with it on camera before, and Air Force uses that footage in their promotional video, which I'm really excited about. See my hog being shot on one of their promo videos. And they're also making all these guns suppressed now, so this costs a little bit more for the integrally suppressed part, but you don't have to have a silencer stamp or a class 3 stamp at all for a suppressed air gun, integrally suppressed, or a moderator, external moderator. It's just a different world that's not firearms regulated by the ATF, and that's a good thing. So if you want to check them out, Airforce Airguns, I'll try to talk some more about that tomorrow when I interview some of their guys, if I can get them on the microphone. Also wanted to talk about Hatsan. I had a meeting with them today. They've got wide variety of different air guns. One of the things that they're well known for, I'm picking up my Hatsan brochure here, the Hercules Bully, that runs from 177 caliber to 45 caliber, and really interesting looking gun. Very, very otherworldly, I would say, just like the Airforce Airguns are. And then the Flash QE, which is basically a 177 caliber to 25 caliber, and 22 caliber being in between there. Awesome gun to check out if you come to the NRA show this weekend. But I'm just giving you the live and hot, stuff of what I kind of saw. It caught my eye today. They've got other air guns as well, but Hatsan's another good air gun company, just like Crosman and Airforce, and I'm probably leaving some out. There's FX, there's Air Venturi, there's a wide variety of other airgun companies out there that are all good. The nice thing about what we're dealing with, like I said earlier about firearms, is asking me if you like the best rifle. Is it a CZ USA? Is it a Winchester? Is it a Savage? Is it a Remington? They're all good. That's the nice thing about the world that we live in now, is unless you're talking about, a cheaply made Saturday Night Special weapon, or Saturday Night Special rifle or shotgun or pistol or whatever that's just cheaply put together and very low cost, you don't really have to worry about products, failing on you like you did back in the day, way back in the day. When I was first growing up and getting into this world of outdoor shooting, things are so much better now than they've ever been, and that's the joy of what we have with air guns and crossbows and rifles and pistols and shotguns and so on and so forth, is that it's the golden age. And I've said that before on the show, and you're probably tired of hearing it, but here it is again. I love sharing this with you guys because this is just a really great time to be alive right now. Also wanted to mention, back to ammunition, G2 ammunition, G and the number 2, you can look them up online. They've got a wide variety of handgun ammunition and rifle ammunition for both semi-automatic and revolver, for the pistol, for the handgun side. And then for rifle, they've got 7.62 by 39, 308, 223, wide variety of different things. Their ammo looks and reminds me of a starfish when it expands, and that's what you really want out of your ammunition, for it to really expand well and penetrate well and do its right thing in ballistics gel on tests and that kind of stuff. And that's one thing that these guys have done very well in the regards of ammunition manufacturers. They made really, really good bullets that do their job. I actually have my mail key that I use at home is on a Civic Duty RIP rip out bullet that I picked up from a show a long time ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, from the G2 research people. So Chris Nix is a great guy. I've talked to him many times. He's the guy that kind of heads up that company, and they've got some great ballistic gel showcases that they show of their ammunition in performance mode, and then their ammunition as it is expanded, and then their ammunition before it expands. And just really impressed with this company and what they do for self-defense loads, for sure, because I certainly would not like to get shot with one of those, because they definitely open up, and they call them the Trident Rip Out or the RIP, and they really leave a massive hole in whatever they shoot. So it's great for self-defense, great for hunting. Another good ammunition company to consider, G2 Research, G2 Ammo. So definitely check those guys out. All right. Also moving along, I wanted to talk about somebody I'm going to meet with tomorrow, and that's Timney Triggers. If you've never tried a Timney trigger and never really had the opportunity to test one out, I recommend them. I recommend them because they make some 2-stage triggers, some single-stage triggers, some triggers for things like my beloved Mosin Nagant. I'm getting ready to own my 7th Mosin Nagant in my gun safe that my dad just picked up for me from a friend of his, and it turns out it's a very rare version of a Mosin Nagant. But they make drop-in triggers for a wide variety of different rifles and pistols and AR-15s and so on and so forth. If you've never tried one, they're worth the money. I can tell you that much for sure. There are a lot of trigger companies out there, but this one is really one that has impressed me very well, because it is constantly a testament to, they have, triggers for just about any gun you can think of. If it's your Remington 700, if it's your Winchester Model 70, if it's your AR-15, Mosin Nagant, Mauser, so on and so forth. They've just got a trigger for just about anything, and they're fantastic value. Because, you know, I said this before about triggers. It's one of those things that will improve your accuracy tremendously if you move into a, you know, let's say a military trigger versus a Timney trigger. Will make you a better shot. It'll wring more performance out of your gun and wring more accuracy out of your gun overall inherently, because you're not pulling too hard on that press of your finger for your gun. So when it comes to triggers, I definitely recommend Timney to check them out, because they've got, and their triggers aren't cheap, but I mean, it's one of those things where, do you want to shoot in comfort? Do you want to shoot accurately? Do you want to wring the best performance you can out of your gun? And getting a drop-in trigger really does that well, and I wanted to definitely recommend you check them out. If you go to the show, or if you just listening to me talk about it, this is a great place to learn about this kind of stuff. I'm also going to meet tomorrow with Magpul, and they've got fantastic AR-15 accessories, AK-47 accessories. I mean, if you're into guns at all, you probably have heard of Magpul. Get to meet with them tomorrow. I'm really excited about that, and they've just got some fantastic lineup of magazines, AR accessories, you know, you name it. I've bought a lot of Magpul things over the years, and I want to definitely give them a shout out as well, because they've got just all kinds of different things going on there. So Magpul, you can check them out. Magpul Industries, you can check them out online. Also, something that caught my eye that I wanted to bring to you, and I've got a couple of things here that I'm going to close the show with, since we've been going for a little while. Ergo grips is one that I met with, that I've been talking to a while now, and I've noticed them since the first first NRA show that I attended. They've got some really cool grips, but they've also got some AR rail covers, M-lock, 4-slot wedge locks that basically cover your whole gun except for the receiver portion, and part of the receiver portion even, with different colors and different patterns and all kinds of different. It's kind of hard to explain what they have, but they basically have wedge locks, they've got rail covers, they've got grips, and they've got whole color-coded combinations that you can buy for your AR-15 or grip for your AK-47 or whatever the case may be. But you can mix and match these things. You can change the color of your AR-15 completely just by using some of their products. And I definitely want to give them a shout out. ErgoGrips.net. That's ERGO Grips.net. You can check them out, and they've just got some really cool stuff. I mean, you're really taking your AR-15 and customizing it, which a lot of people are doing with Cerakote and all kinds of other things. They have the Elite series and a couple of other series of different Ergo grips and Ergo accessories for your AR-15, and I highly recommend. I'm on their mailing list. They do giveaways all the time. They're big on Twitter. I follow them pretty well in social media, and they've just got some really cool ideas for dressing up your AR-15. So wanted to definitely throw that out there too. Last thing I wanted to talk about today is, by the way, I forgot, on the airgun side, Pyramyd Air is here. I picked up one of their catalogs. They got all of the different companies, and the one I didn't mention to you earlier was the Umarex. They have the Umarex big bore, the Gauntlet, and I think their big bore is, that's their small bore is the Gauntlet, I'm pretty sure, and then the Hammer is their big bore, and they've just got a wide variety of different things. So Pyramyd Air, they have the Pyramyd Air gun range, which I've not been to yet, but they're at every show, and they have a wide variety. It's like a shooting gallery in there, man. It's air guns, it's a range, and it's a bunch of different targets you can shoot at with pistols and rifles, and all air guns. And it's so cool to get kids and see kids liven up on stuff like that, because there's just a wide variety of different things you can get your kids involved in the shooting sports, and bringing them to an air gun range like this is just fantastic. If you have a 22 range at home, most likely it's rated for air guns. I just can't say enough about why I like air guns so much. You guys have heard all this from me, but there you go again. Pyramyd Air, Pyramyd Air. Gun Mall. They carry all kinds of different air gun accessories. I wanted to definitely give a shout out to them, and hopefully with the airgun laws passing in Texas and there not being any major issues with the airgun laws in Texas, they'll work with us hopefully in the future and do some digital stuff with us. But really love that company. They've got a great heart. They carry all kinds of airgun ammunition and accessories and that kind of stuff, so that's great. Last thing I wanted to mention on this show, Safe Shoot, a company out of Israel. And I know the agency that is working with them out of California. They've been talking to us for over a year now, and they're just coming to fruition on the product. Then hopefully we'll be running an ad with us in Texas Fish and Game starting in October, I think. They will have product by September from what they told me today when I met with them. But what this is basically is, imagine a gun that has a side-mounted optic-looking device on it that basically controls the shooter, or tells the shooter, notifies the shooter if there's a alert downrange of a person, of an animal, or of a thing that you need to steer clear of. And what you do basically is mount this on the side of your weapon and basically turn it on. They have little devices that you can put on people or on things or on animals that are going to be mobile, so you make sure you do not shoot in an unsafe way, in an unsafe direction. And they're good, I think, out to 1,000 yards. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's got a fantastic visibility as far as 1,000 yards. I'm right. I just opened up their thing. Safe Shoot devices detect other devices up to 1,000 yards, even if they are not in your party. So basically, anything that has a Safe Shoot device on it has a Safe Shoot. They have things for shooters. They have things for dogs. They have all kinds of different Safe Shoot accessories that you can get. And basically, what you do is you mount this on your gun, and it notifies you if there's somebody downrange that is of danger of you shooting them. I think it's a fantastic product. It's using Israeli military. What do you want to call it? Military technology. And it's just fantastic on keeping people safe, keeping animals safe, keeping things safe that you don't want to shoot downrange up to 1,000 yards. And I think it's fantastic for long-range shooting. I think it's great for camping. If you're going out camping and hunting and want to make sure you keep everything in the campsite, if you're shooting in a safe direction at all times, this is a fantastic product. You can check them out on the website. I think you can Google it, and it will come up for you, safe-shoot.com. That's safe-shoot.com, and they've got a whole company, everything based in Israel, but they've got an agency that I'm working with here in the States to help bring their product to fruition. It's kind of cool being part of something like this in its beginning stages, because it's something I think it's been a long time coming. I think it's something that is of value to the shooter, because we all are big about safety when it comes to firearms, when it comes to air guns, when it comes to anything, crossbows, anything like that that's going down range. We definitely want to keep our loved ones and our loved things safe, and this is one way to do that. So I wanted to give a big shout out to Safe Shoot USA and Safe Shoot headquarters in Israel. You check them out again, safe-shoot.com, to learn more about what they are. And their logo is Securing American Firearm Environments, Hunting, Homeland Security, Military. So that's really cool with what's going on there. All right, so next podcast, I plan to have some on-location stuff. I'm in my hotel room right now, if you can hear by the echo. I'm in my hotel room today, and I'm going to hopefully be in the press room tomorrow with a podcast interview, and then maybe on location in a couple of different places, recording some shows, just recording some segments, if you will, and putting them together for our next show. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, I gave you some about 33 minutes or so of different stuff to think about and consider for your next firearms purchase, for your next airgun purchase, whatever the case may be. Really enjoy doing this show. It's one of my favorite shows of the entire year. It's fun. It's consumer based, so there's all kinds of people here from all walks of life. People in wheelchairs, people on scooters, people that are dressed weird. It's just anything goes. There's today was at the CZ USA booth, and there was a guy that was carrying around a balloon animal caricature, I guess is the best way to explain it, of Donald Trump. Donald Trump actually came today here on Friday. You probably saw this in the news. I believe Vice President Pence was here as well, but I know Donald Trump made a surprise visit here to the ILA NRA meeting, and that was a sold-out deal, and it was great to hear him speak on the monitors that I was listening to. I was in the exhibit hall in meetings all day, so I didn't have a chance to go and see the president speak. But regardless of what your politics are, it's kind of cool that he's a Second Amendment supporter and all that fun stuff. So, the thing that I've noticed since SHOT Show is that I've seen this industry really come back in a lot of new ways. I've seen a return to a lot of the folks that used to advertise with us coming back to advertise with us that have the funds to do so now because the industry has picked up in sales again, and that's a very encouraging thing to see as a trend in the industry. So I'm really excited about that. If you've not done so already, please check out our website, fishgame.com, that has all of these podcasts. If you go to fishgame.com/podcast, has all of our podcasts on there. Subscribe to the show, give us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you're seeing or listening to the podcast, hearing the podcast, seeing the podcast, whatever you're doing, please give us a review. That helps other people find the show. And I got to meet Cable Smith today, who is the host of the Lone Star Outdoor Show. And he's got a podcast and a radio show that broadcasts on several different country radio stations all around Texas and beyond. And his podcast can be downloaded anywhere. If you've not done so, go listen to his podcast. He's got a great, fantastic radio show slash podcast that airs every week, and I believe it airs on Saturdays for the radio show, and then the podcast is available anyway on demand. And got to meet him. Hope to have him on the podcast soon as a guest because he's a wealth of information. They cover such diverse topics on his podcast and show, and love to have him on. So if you're not giving the Lone Star Outdoors podcast or Lone Star Outdoors show radio show a listen, he's definitely be a good one to check out. And I got to meet him at the Sightmark booth today. So that was a good fun there. So thank you so much again for watching, reading, and listening. Have an awesome day in the outdoors. We'll see you next time.